Good day, everyone. My name is Mr. Omo Godwin, and today we'll be learning another interesting topic in mathematics: square and square roots. Yep, we'll be treating square and square roots. Now, math is very interesting, and what we are doing is very broad. Sometimes we have to go beyond the number operators we are familiar with. For example, we are treating today square and square root. Do you know the difference? Are you sure you know the difference between a square and a square root? For example, the square of a number, or we say the square root of a number. Those things, sometimes they are confusing, right? All right, not to worry. Today promises to be very, very interesting. As you all know, we have fun while we learn. And today we're going to learn and we're going to know the difference between these two, square and square root. So you should come around with your paper. You know, this is maths. Come around with your paper, your biro, your jotter, your learning gadget. It promises to be interesting. So if you are ready for me, I think we should start now. And let's get right into it, people. Now, what is square? What is a square? The square of a number is usually the number multiplied by itself. For example, if we say the square of 5, now, this is worthy of note. Number is the number multiplied by itself. This is very interesting, and this is what you should hold. Now, if a number multiplies itself, you are told to look for the square of 5, like this example connotes here, 5. Now, it could come in this normal English form, what's the square of 5, or we can write it this way, mathematically, yeah. So the square of 5, that means 5 and square. Yep. All right. So what this means, to find this, it means the number will multiply itself. That is all there is to the definition of a square. The square of a number. The square of a number is a number multiplied by itself. So 5 is the number because they've asked us what's the square of 5. 5 multiplied by itself. 5 times 5, that gives me what? 25. Period. Can you see how easy it is? Now, these questions you've been asking, I guess they are all gone. So the square of a number, simply put, it is the number multiplied by itself. So if you're asked, what's the square of 10? Oh, 10. Or if it's given this way, what they are simply asking is what? 10 times 10. And that gives what? 100. Beautiful. Brilliant. Put this at the back of your mind. Always know it now that the square of a number means the number multiplied by itself. Number multiplied by itself. Now, in another way, we can say that the square of a number is the number raised to the power of 2. Yes, for example, this 4. I have explained that already. Raised to the power of 2. Okay. When we do this, we are also doing the same thing. So sometimes you just see it could come as a pop quiz for you. Pop-up question, 4 raised to the power 2. That's 4 square. What does it mean? It means what? 4 times the number 4. So we are also saying the same thing here. 4 times itself. And 4 times 4 will give us 16. That is our answer. We can use this and write it in English form 1, or we can say this in a mathematical way, which is this 4 square. Someone is thinking about something else. We're not talking about the church. So when we say 4 raised to the power 2, all right, it means 4 multiplied by 4. Because definition here, we'll go back. The definition here says the number multiplied by itself. All right. So this is what we should check. So when we come back here and we say 4 raised to the power 2, it means 4 times 4. Brilliant. So in another way, we have done that, and we can see that that's what it means. So we go to the square root of a number. Now you've understood square. Now I want to consider square root of a number. It has its own symbol. Square, when 2 numbers are multiplied together, any of them is called the square root of the product. Okay? The square root of the product. So this here, it has a symbol, and this is the symbol of square root. Yeah. So when two numbers are multiplied together, any of them is called the square root of the product. I'll explain to you. Let's say we have 5 times 5. When two numbers are multiplied together, let's say 5 times 5, that'll give me what, boys? 25. Now, if, for example, I ask the square root of 25, for example, or yes, because this two number multiplies to give me this answer, I will just pick any of them, this 5 here. I can pick this 5 as my square root, or I can say this other 5 is my square root, but I'll just pick one of it. Alright, so that's what this, any of them is called the square root of the product. Is that clear? Are you sure? Alright, so we get right into it. For instance, 4 times 4. Remember, this is a symbol. 4 times 4 is 16. So either the 4 is called the square root of 16. Either of the 4. That was what I explained. Okay, now we say what that either means. I'll show you. You can pick this 4 to be your square root, or you can pick this 4 to be your square root. Remember, this is the symbol of what? Square root. Don't forget that. That's the symbol of square root. The sign of square root, when you see this, so the square is usually raised to power 2. A number, maybe 5 raised to power 2, this is square. 7 raised to power 2, this is square. But 7, the square root of 7, which it doesn't have, will be under the sign square root. Is this clear? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. How do we find the square root of the whole numbers? Okay, now to find the square root of a whole number, the first thing we have to do, we have to express the number in its prime factors. Then we group them into twos and take one of each. Then we find the product of these numbers. It's very simple. Just imagine how we did the first exercise here, or example, how I showed it to you. That's what we're going to do here. Now, to find the square root of a number, a whole number, the first thing we have to do, this is the first thing, express the number in its prime factors. 1. Then you group these numbers in 2. Then you take one of each. After that, you find the product of the numbers you have taken from this side. Now, this is going to make a whole lot of sense for you. I like solving things because it gives me a better perspective of what we are doing. Because once you see the examples, it becomes clearer to you. Find the square root of 64. Find the square root of 64. Now, these are the prime factor. Come back here. Let's take it back. Now, first, express the number in its prime factor. Good. So we are coming here to express the number 64. We express it in its prime factor. This is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and one more times 2. Alright. Now, this is prime factor of 64. Then the next thing we have to do, we check it back. The next thing we have to do, you group them. After you have checked the prime factor, you group this number in twos. Remember this, if it can be grouped in twos, we do it. They always can. 1, 2, and 3. All in twos. Is that not so? Then the third thing I'm to do, I'm to pick one from each. This is 2. I'm picking one from here. Times, I'm going to pick one from here too. 2. I'm going to pick one from the third bracket. 2. Then the last thing I'm to do here is to what? To find the product of these ones I've picked. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. Good. Brilliant. Now, this is one way to find the square root of a number using the prime factor. I have another method. You remember in maths, there's more than one way to smoke a rat. Good. So we are going to look at another method for which we can do this. Let's consider this slide here. Okay. Now we have 64. Yep, I can do that here. 2. 2 in 64, that will give me what? 3 and 2, 32. 2 can go. 2 in 32, remember 2 and 3 is 1, and here is 16. 2 can go again. 2 in 16, 8. 2 can go. 2 in 8, 4. 2 more. 2 in 4, 2. Oops, 2 more. And 2 in 2, 1. That's all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you can see, I'm just looking for the square root of 64. Don't forget that we are looking for the square root of 64. Is that not so? All right, so this will give me what, boys? You group in how many twos? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to divide this number in 2 parts. Now, I can divide it this way. 1 and 2. Yes. Or I can do it the other way we did it. We can just write 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Then we group 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Remember, you pick out 1 here, 2. You pick out 1 here, 2. You also pick out 1 here, 2. Then by the time you sum this, it gives you 8. Now, this is the method we use anyway. Not using prime now, we're using long division method. Come back to this guy. Remember, I'm going to group this guy into how many parts? 2. I have 1 here and 2. They are equal parts. We have 3 in each circle. So I can say 2 times 2 times 2. 1 and 2 times 2 times 2. Oh, brilliant. Now, I'm just going to pick one. Remember when we say your definition, you pick one of this. 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8. 2 times 2, 4, 4 times 2, 8. So whichever method will work for you, beautiful. Can you see? You can either use this method or you use that method. Wow. How fun is it? Can you see it now? I'm sure you are very interested in using those methods and you like it a lot, isn't it? All right. Now, the perfect square. What is a perfect square? Perfect square is a number whose square root is a whole number. A number whose square root is a whole number. Example, you know what a whole number is? Number without decimal points, isn't it? Yeah. Look at example here. Examples are, all these are perfect square because their square root is a whole number. Now, let's say this is 4, for example. Square root of 4 should be 2. This 2 here, it's a whole number. Consider this also 9. Square root of 9 is what? 3. 3 is a whole number. That's what we are saying. So not all square number are perfect square. Those ones that don't have perfect square, you'll be seeing points in it, maybe 2.34 something. They are not perfect square. They are not perfect square. Okay, their square root cannot be said to be perfect. So the square root of a number or perfect square are numbers that they don't have points with them. So if you say look for the square root of 9, is it 9 is a perfect square because the answer it's going to give me doesn't have a point in between. All right, now let's look for our evaluation before we wrap it up today. What is perfect square? All right, I can see, nice try. Define the square of a number. Good. What's the square root? Brilliant. Nice job, boys and girls. I want to believe that cloudiness, that darkness of, oh, what is the square root or what's the square root of number? You have eliminated it from you and you can now tell which one is which moving forward. All right. I trust you had a wonderful time. You get to exercise and I want you to devour it and pieces it for me while I check it up in the forms. Thank you very much. And for the time you have, you can just squeeze in on this before your forms come around. It's not hard no more. So from me, I want to tell you, thank you for listening. It's been a wonderful time and bye-bye.